Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and we're on the Complete Media Network. We're coming to you live on a Monday evening. We've had a great weekend. Beautiful sunny day again today. And joining me as usual to do a wrap up of the weekend of sports is Jason Cameron. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Good, good. I'm doing like much better today than I did over the course of this weekend. I had my second vaccination shot on Friday. Suffice it to say, it didn't go as well as others. I had a rough time of it this weekend, but I'm glad I got it, and I'm glad I'm over it now.
Yeah. So, what type of shot was it? Was it the same as your first vaccination? Same type?
Yeah, it was Moderna. It was I got that for my first and second. The first time I got it, unfortunately, it was quite. It hurt my shoulder quite a bit. Second time, not as much, but I did suffer, I guess, the shakes and chills that some people will get, and then the feverish feelings at night, and then just sweating through my bed sheets, and yeah, it wasn't a lot of fun. It wasn't a lot of fun.
Jeez, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I've actually heard other people get it, but I've been hearing that they had a different shot, their second shot, so their body wasn't quite, be able to adapt to it or something. And so this is the first time I had heard of others that, had the same shot and got those symptoms. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I was surprised when we texted over the weekend and you told me you were having such a rough go of it. That's really crappy. I've yet to have my second shot, but I guess that kind of makes me a little nervous, not really wanting to get it done. I hate getting sick, and it's too bad when that happens.
It is, but at least the good thing is it didn't like last for a week. It was 2 days. One day in particular, really bad, but it's 2 days and then you're done. For in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. So
yeah, COVID would be a lot worse for sure, and at least now you've got the double dose, and yeah, I guess a lot of people consider you a lot safer. Yeah, it's been kind of bizarre lately. I don't think about COVID too much when I'm home, but as soon as I leave home, you see people with masks. But it has really changed a lot lately. Going, into restaurants and you don't have to wear a mask. You go walk into a store. There's a lot of stores that don't, require you to wear a mask. And yesterday, I partied amongst thousands of people, and I didn't see masks around. We had a huge celebration down on Commercial Drive, Little Italy here for Italy's huge win in the Euro Cup, and it was a party. It was a full-on big dance party, street party.
okay, so my next question to you, Darren, is: did you show your card and say, "Yes, I have one shot. I have one vaccination. I'm good. I'm good to be here"? Did you show your card? Were people flashing their cards at this party?
No, I didn't see any cards. Didn't see anybody really going for it. I started thinking today, how they keep calling, they talk about this D variant being the biggest one lately, and the newest stream that you got to be worried about. I was thinking now there's going to be a UEFA variant, because I think there was parties all over. Those Italians sure know how to party, and most of the cities, big cities I've lived in, they have an Italian district, and I bet you there was some very big rockin' parties in all of those places.
As there should have been, like the Italians, they did it. They did it. But they had to work for that. I believe they won in a shootout, right?
They did, yeah. Yeah, it was penalty kick shootout. It was quite the game, because England scored 2 minutes in, the fastest goal ever in a Euro Cup final, and all of a sudden the whole place just whoosh. The atmosphere was really out of the building. I'm thinking, oh man, this would suck, because England does not party the same as Italians, and we wouldn't have had that much fun. So luckily in the second half, they got a huge goal. The place erupted. I started feeling this really good, and then all the way into extra time, 30 minutes extra time, no goals. And so now we've got the shootout. And I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people hate that that's the way a final is going to end. It goes to, that instead of a golden goal, a guy scoring, on a really brilliant play, it's down to if a guy, kicks it in the corner of the net, the goalie doesn't save it, or he saves it, like as this one ended up. It was a tough way to end it for England, I'm sure, but I was cheering for Italy anyway.
Well, it's tough, but I feel for, like, I believe it was the 19-year-old that had his shot saved, and he was devastated by that. But if I'm that young man, I have to remember, it's like, oh, wait, I'm only 19. I got so much more money to make. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. That's what he did.
I'm sure. I'm sure he was. I don't think he was thinking about money very much yesterday, but there was questions of the coach putting in such a young guy in such a tough situation. He had, he has a complement of 11 guys that he can throw in there, and he had subbed out a couple of his guys late in that game and brought in those younger guys trying to press for a goal. And they were questioning his lineup, the 5 guys that he put out there. 3 of them were stopped and didn't score. And Italy scored 3 goals. They only scored 2. And I feel bad for a guy, though. It's so much pressure. One guy hit the post, the other guy got a save made on him. It's tough. But you're right. Their lives are going to be pretty damn good. They're going to make a lot of money and have a really great life, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, and also too, like, that's what I would try to remember. It's like, but also too, you can't be afraid of failure. If you want to be the best, you got to know that these are the positions that you want to be put in. This is where this is how you actually make all that bread, all that money.
True.
Is to be in these positions. So hopefully he doesn't lose heart and he continues to want to be put in those positions to try to succeed and not afraid of failure.
Yeah, brilliant. Very good point there. Yeah, you just have to step up and do it. And if you fail, you fail. There's, I think Michael Jordan said, I had the ball in my hands so many times, as the last shot, and I didn't make the shot. But that's the reason why I succeed is, I learn from those misses and I learn from those failures, and they keep trusting me, and I eventually score them. And a lot of people would have shied away from it, would have been like hiding their face, didn't want the coach to even look at him. But all those guys stepped up, and good on them. But I saw a sign yesterday that just wrapped it up for me. It said, "Lasagna is much better than shepherd's pie," and I was like, yeah, very true. And if England would have won, the party wouldn't have been just there at all. I don't know. I just hate to even think how, they wouldn't have just been there. They ended up having a DJ. They had a dance party. We partied there till I think 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it was just going and going and going. And it was incredible. Like, I just was soaked head to toe in champagne, beer, other drinks. They allowed everybody to just drink on the streets. So the cops were all hanging around, being on the outside, but they just allowed people to walk in a liquor store, buy your drinks, just drink out on the street, full on, free for all. They just locked off commercial from First North, and it was just full on. It was amazing. It was an incredible time.
That's cool, man. They didn't beat anybody. They didn't beat any revelers. So wow. They have come a long way. Long way. That's pretty cool. That's good. I'm glad that they allowed it to happen. And I'm glad that the revelers and the partiers actually behaved themselves and conducted themselves in an appropriate manner.
I was considering watching the game at my house. I've watched a few of the games out and about at some of the establishments around, and I was at home, and then I don't know, I was just talking to friends, and they're like, you should get out, you should watch it somewhere. I'm like, yeah. So I went down to commercial, and I was like, oh my God, am I ever happy I came out? I had that FOMO, that fear of missing out, just pounding me. And I thought, yeah, I just got to be here. And it was phenomenal. It was just amazing. It was such a fun time. I've got some video to share with you and our viewers and listeners. It was a blast. I can't tell you how incredible it was. And let's bring it up here. Okay, so where am I going to do it? Oh, there we go. Guess. Okay. Here we go. Oh, here's the party outside. This was the celebration. This is the corner of Grant and Commercial, and it was fun. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. So yeah, so that was the outside.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I'm having.
I saw a lot of blue smoke, popping smoke. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we had a lot of smoke there. Yeah. Okay, and I got to share when the winning goal was scored. It was absolutely pandemonium there as well.
Okay.
No. Why am I having so much trouble with my share screens?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this was a blast.
Okay.
The woman that you can see in the white right in the front of the screen there.
Yeah.
She yelled out, "Please Jesus, please Jesus, please Jesus," about 100 times as we were going. It was now I'm frozen. Are you frozen?
Yeah, I'm seeing that. There you go. There you go. Now you're frozen.
Okay, holy crap. Yeah, some issues with some issues with the sharing today. But yeah, it was a great place to be. Really fun. Bumped into friends down there. We had an absolute ball. And yeah, it was a really great tournament. Lots of those soccer tournaments I just get so full into. I go to a lot of the houses. I go to a lot of the places where the home nation is likely going to win, and usually I get to celebrate and have a blast. And I took it a little easier this year. Well, a lot easier this year compared to other times, mostly for COVID and that kind of thing. When the World Cup was here, 2016, I partied so hard. I barely slept for like a month. I have to wake up first thing in the morning because the games were like 7, 9, and 11, I think they were. And
Yep.
So the bars would be opening at 7 a.m. for us to go into, and the party was really legendary. I didn't party as hard as I did during the Olympics when they were here, but that was pretty good. But today, I'm telling you, I don't get hungover, but man, I didn't feel good today at all. I felt just rough. I just could not get out of bed, and I was super happy. Today was a day that I could chill. I could take it easy. We could do this podcast at night. I didn't even have to rushed to get ready for this. I had all day, so yeah, I wouldn't call it a hangover, but I would call it just my Euro Cup blues. They're all done, but sure, great way to end it.
Yeah, no, that looked like a ton of fun. I wish I could have joined you, but work and all. So
Yeah. Yeah, all that responsibility stuff. Tough. Yeah, there were so many good things on this weekend. There was that, the Euro Cup. The Tampa Bay Lightning had their boat parade. They have a phenomenal boat parade. If anybody hasn't seen that online, find it. It is a ball. That's the second year in a row for them. Kucherov, their top player, he's been just partying like crazy. And he kind of reminds me of how Ovechkin partied when the Washington won the Stanley Cup. He was just pouring beer and champagne in his mouth. I don't think he's worn a shirt for like a week. And they just have this incredible area where they can just ride their boats along, and just all the fans can line I don't know exactly what beach or where it exactly is, but it looks like a hell of a party. And that was fun. I had some video to show, but I'm having some problems with the share, so I won't bother. But find it online. It's a hilarious thing.
Yeah, well, I saw a little bit of, I guess they're calling it legendary now, of Kucherov's post interview after they won the cup, and he was doing it shirtless, drinking beer, and I'm like, I don't know. I want to say I think the last time we saw anybody doing this was back in the 70s and 80s. What is he doing, this throwback? It's like, oh, it's back in the day again. I'm drinking beer. I got my shirt off, and I'm telling you how it is. It was awesome. It was cool.
That was so awesome. Yeah. He even gave it to the Montreal fans, because Montreal won the fourth game, and he's like, what the hell are they doing? They were celebrating like they won the cup already. Went a bunch of idiots. And he said, hilarious things, so many funny things. And he was drinking Bud Light that whole time. And I saw this ad on Twitter that said, we're sponsoring him now. We don't even have to ask him. We're paying him money for doing what he did. he just immediately had a new sponsor. It was pretty wild. Yeah, that was like you say, they're calling it legendary already.
Well, or savvy move by his part. It's like, oh, watch this. These guys are going to give me a ton of money.
No kidding. Yeah, really brilliant. Yeah, like I mentioned, these guys have pull with what they're drinking. When Ronaldo moved those Cokes off the table and the thing went down $1 billion in value. Now this guy's got some serious cash coming in from Bud Light. That was pretty cool. But yeah, really fun to see that boat parade. Wimbledon. Novak Djokovic got his 20th Wimbledon title, or 20th Grand Slam title, his 6th Wimbledon title. Amazing accomplishment. He's caught Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Now they all have 20 Grand Slam victories in their careers, and they have won 60 out of the last 71 Grand Slam championships. So it's incredible to be in this era for the three of the greatest of all time. But I think Novak has that title now. He'll definitely get that title if he wins 21 or more. But I think he's considered the greatest of all time. And it's pretty incredible from a guy from Serbia was able to reach those heights, especially in the area of the other two guys.
It's an incredible generation of tennis players that we've we're living through at this moment, where you're seeing three guys that are just going pretty much neck and neck for who's the best.
Yeah.
Like 60 Grand Slams between three guys. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's so amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. I'm blown away by it. It's fun to watch. I got up early and watched them do it before the Euro Cup game, and really neat. I started thinking to myself, we've talked about Serbia so much in the past few weeks. Renata keeps sending me, hey, did you see this? Did you hear another Serbian did this? And I'm like, okay, well, this is CSM, the Complete Sports Media. Maybe we're going to have to call it Complete Serbian Media now, showing so many things. I want to share the Novak celebration. It's pretty cool to see. He decides to go into the crowd and hug his team when he wins the championship. It's pretty wild. He posted this on Twitter himself.
Yeah.
Spectacular success he's had.
Nope.
I think he got his way to the box. And a little swing door has been put in place. And Boris, you played your part in this record-breaking run. Yeah, but it's nice to see the core circle really celebrating together. It's been difficult those 3 weeks, just the hotel and the club. And you need
takes time to get a selfie here with the kid.
Oh.
This kid's pretty happy.
That's awesome.
Supernova.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really neat. Amazing. Incredible accomplishment. And, just to, see him do it. And he's got a better head-to-head record against the other two guys. He's going for a calendar Grand Slam. He's won the first 3 this year in New York, US Open coming up soon. He's going for the calendar Grand Slam, and it's only happened once ever before in the Open era for men. Rod Laver back in 1962. So there'll be a lot of pressure on him, a lot of eyeballs on him, but good on him. Incredible accomplishment, and he'll be the betting favorite going in. The other Serbian thing I got to mention is Canada-Serbia played in the under-19 basketball championships over this past weekend, and Canada was able to come from behind and win 101-92. Some really super talented guys on that team, and it was great to see. I watched a ton of that game, and really nice. Canada got the bronze. Serbia ended up coming in 4th. And 2 great basketball nations facing off each other. We'll take a look at some of the highlights. We've got a 7'4" guy that's only 18 years old. That's really looking good. And Nemhart is the other guy. One of the guys was instrumental in the NCAA championship. This is his brother coming up. I'm sure he'll be going to one of the top colleges soon. And lots of great basketball action there for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. And Nemhart, that's the Gonzaga player, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're definitely going to talk a lot about the NBA. Game 3 just happened yesterday, but there's been a lot of talk about the exhibition games going for the Olympics, and the U.S. has been beat the first 2 games in this exhibition schedule. Yesterday, they got beat by Nigeria, 98-87, and today they got beat by Australia, 91-83. It was a shock to the world yesterday. Nigeria's first time an African team has ever beat this USA team. 1992, we had the Dream Team, and they were able to just show the world how superior they were. About 9 years ago, I think it was 2012, Team USA beat Nigeria by 83 points. 5 years ago, they beat them by 43 points, but they lost to them yesterday. And there are 7 NBA players on Team Nigeria. No big stars like the US have, but huge win for them. And then I didn't see any highlights yet, but final score in Vegas today, Australia defeating the US 91-83. So 0-2 in this exhibition schedule, heading to Tokyo in a few weeks for the Olympics. Doesn't really look good. I think they're going to get a lot of criticism, a lot of pressure. Greg Popovich is fronting this bunch, and they've got some guys, they got some stars, but not a good way to start this exhibition schedule.
What is Pop doing? What is he doing? How could he even allow that to happen? That's a Popovich team, man. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I'm stunned and I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say. Like, are they treating it like Allen Iverson does? Practice? Talking about practice?
yeah.
Is that what they're doing right now? Because they're just like,
Maybe.
it's a real thing, so we don't care. I don't, because even if it's not the real thing, even if they don't really care, those teams can't beat you. They should be able to ever beat you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, well, Nigeria, they actually won today as well. They ended up beating Argentina, so they seem like a force to be reckoned with. Not a lot of people were taking them seriously, but Team USA seemed to play pretty individualistic. Nigeria had about 3 weeks of practice and a few games going into this one. Team USA has only been together for 4 days, so you and I talked about that as being a problem when Canada was eliminated. Not really enough way to get some cohesion and some team chemistry. KD was only 2 of his first 11. He ended up finishing with 17 points. Bradley Beal was only 1 of 9. Lillard missed several open looks at the end of the game. Jason Tatum was 15.7 rebounds, but Nigeria had 23 pointers, 20 of 42 from downtown. Spread the ball around really well with 21 assists. NBA player Gabe Vincent led the way with 21 points. He was 6 of 8 with 6 of 8 for 3-point range. And they have some pretty decent guys on that team, but USA shouldn't be losing to anybody with the stacked amount of guys that they have.
Yeah, because it's just superstars. It's a roster of superstars. So yes, there has to be something said about team cohesion. Obviously, these guys have never really played with each other in this capacity. But at the end of the day, oh man, they should be able to figure it out anyways, regardless.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's going to be weird. I guess, we'll have to watch as this exhibition schedule goes along a little bit more and, see how they fare in the Olympics. They seem to get the biggest interest in the Olympics. Tons of people want to see the dream team and these guys put together. They have been before this tournament 54-2 in exhibition schedules, and the dream team and so many of these Team USA teams have been super dominant, but so far they're struggling big time. Right now, currently, the home run derby in the MLB has just finished, and Pete Alonso from the New York Mets has defended his crown. Super fun to watch. I watched a ton of this early and just wrapped up 2 times in a row. Pete Alonso, the Mets big basher, got the victory, and a lot of fun. I've recorded it, so I'm going to get to watch it a little bit after this. But he hit 33 home runs in the first round. Full-time, a big record ever in home run derbies. And Shohei Ohtani, the betting favorite, got beat in a swing off. Him and Juan Soto tied with 22 home runs in the first round. They both got another minute, both hit 6. Then they got 3 swings each. And Soto hit 3 home runs, and Ohtani missed his first one, so he was eliminated. But tons of fun. Okay, so now we got to talk about the NBA playoffs, NBA final. We're 3 games in. Phoenix was the dominant team in Phoenix. They played really well. Milwaukee, just wasn't able to put things together. But Game 3 was a big difference. Milwaukee seemed to really run away with this. They get a 120-100 victory. Giannis was spectacular. The other guys that you and I said needed to step up did. And now we've got a series. I think Phoenix Suns fans and that team should be a little worried. They've got some confidence now in Milwaukee, and I think they're going to be able to make this a long series.
They do now because they managed to get home to their comfortable confines of home. in their own, like their fans at home. And you could tell that they were more comfortable, obviously, and their offense was flowing. But more importantly, Giannis was an absolute monster. He was a beast. He was literally unstoppable in this game. Like, if they lose this series, I think Giannis has now put it in his head, it's not going to be on me. It's not going to be on me. I'm going to do everything in my power to win this series and win this for Milwaukee. He's the 6th player ever to have back-to-back 40 points and 10 rebounds. 6th player. And he's done it in his 3rd game in the finals. He's got 2 games like that. Then that's literally amazing. That is so freaking unbelievable. And now I think he's figured out the fact that I'm not going to shoot the 3. I'm just going to drive to the hoop, and nobody can stop me. Nobody can do anything about it. Like, he had one play, I believe, in the second half where he Euro stepped right around Torrey Craig like he was a pylon. Like, he wasn't even there. And I'm just like, okay, if that guy can do that, like with that little effort, should just keep doing that all the time. And he really did that this game.
Yeah, well, he was 14 for 23 from the field, 61%, and every bucket that he scored was within 5 feet of the hoop. You can see a shot chart, and it's just all right in the paint, right in the middle there. But he's so long, he's so athletic. When he takes a step or two, he can go from 3-point line to the hoop and go around guys. He's so athletic. He's so long. He has just such an amazing ability to maneuver through crowd and get the hoop. He doesn't need to shoot from outside to be super, super dominant. I don't know why Ben Simmons didn't figure that out. He didn't realize that, he could just get inside and score like that. Finally, Giannis looked good from the free throw line. And I think not having the opposing fans counting while he was there, I think that made a huge difference for him. He ended up, I think it was 13 for 17 from the line, which is great for him. He actually had more free throws than the entire Suns team combined. And Monty Williams was pretty pissed about that. That's the 2nd game in a row that's the case. Should we be thinking that the officials are a little bit biased and hoping to, make this more of a series when the one guy gets more trips to the line than the other entire team?
Well, first off, that's Monty's job, is to make sure that he's in the ref's ear to make sure that disparagement is not a thing for the next game. So he's doing his job in that respect. But also, too, Giannis is doing his job by making these guys foul him all the time as he's going hard to the hoop. And on top of that, he's making his free throws. But the fans are helping him at home. You hear how quiet it is when he's taking those free throws?
I know.
You can hear a pen drop in that arena. Nobody's saying nothing. It's like, oh, man, let's let the man work. All right? Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. And the other thing that jumps out at me was the amount of support. It's so loud in there, and there was 25,000 fans out in that Deer district. It's great to see these smaller market teams get the fan support behind them, and to be more fans outside than inside, that's pretty incredible.
No, that was just awesome. Stupendous to see. It's great to see that the fans and then the city is really supporting their team, because they want them to win. It's been 50 years. 50 years.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing some of the graphics that come up, and they're comparing him to Shaq and MJ and Jerry West. And, we're seeing these names of these legendary figures that have done incredible things in finals and won championships. And Giannis is in the same breath as a lot of them now. He's being compared to a lot of them. I see that, most of these guys have a lot of rings to fall back on. So if he's going to be mentioned in those legendary status, he has to win a few rings. He was able to take this team when they went down 0-2 against Brooklyn, win 4 of the next 5, and take that series. Do you think he's able to pull this off in this series?
I think so. I think he can do it, but he needs somebody else to help him. Like, I think he'll get his points, he'll get his stats, he'll do everything in his power to try to will his team to win, but he needs a running mate to be right there with him to help him just get over the hump, as it were. And one of those guys, or both of those guys, one of them has to be Middleton or Holiday. And it's got to be one or two, and they got to be with him the entire way if they want to win this series, because the Suns as a team are going to be really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah. Devin Booker only played 29 minutes, 10 points. He was really struggling. Didn't seem to have it. Was it something that Milwaukee was doing, or was it just an off night for Booker?
I'd say it was an off night for Booker. I think actually Monty Williams did the right thing in just resting him, because I think he knew that it was not going to be the Suns' night. So you might as well get your superstar his rest so that he can come back fresh and with that killer instinct for the next game. So I thought that was a good savvy move on Monty Williams' part.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, it seemed out of reach when Milwaukee went on that huge run. It just looked, out of reach. DeAndre Ayton was out early, foul trouble. He needs to stay in the game. He needs to get to his spot a little sooner, so he's not going to get these quick early fouls. I don't think if he goes out early in any game, I think Phoenix is in a lot of trouble. They just when they lost Dario Saric, Frank Kaminsky is just not the same type of player. I just don't think they have the front court to be able to defend Giannis and the big men like Brook and stuff. They were in trouble with Ayton in foul trouble like that.
Oh, yeah. Ayton's got to be smart with his fouls, because once he goes out, there's nobody that can guard the paint. Like, Kaminsky's not doing it because he doesn't have the athleticism nor the talent to guard guys like Lopez or especially Giannis.
CP3 was pretty decent, 19-9, but Mikal Bridges was nowhere. He only got 4 points. I don't know what happened with his game. Cam Johnson looked good, but they need contributions from Bridges. They need more from Booker and more minutes for Ayton. He was out. Middleton looked great. He good stat line. Same with Drew Holiday. I mentioned it to you before the game that I thought those guys were going to have the best game of the series for them, and they both stepped up and played great.
Well, they had to, because this was absolutely a must-win for the Bucks. Because if they go down 3-0, pretty much the series is over. It's done. So those guys had to step up, and Middleton with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and Holiday with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. They stepped up, and they gave Giannis the help that he needed to win this game, to win this must-win game.
For some reason, Phoenix is only 1-3 out of game threes. They're 13-2 the rest of the playoffs. The Bucks are 8-1 now at home. They take most of their losses on the road. So all signs point to this series getting tied up on Wednesday night.
I think so. I think so. I think that's what exactly happens. But I think I think game 4 is going to be closer. But I think the Bucks still tie up this series and it goes back to Phoenix tied 2-2.
Yeah. I think these 2 days between each game has really benefited Giannis as well. Obviously, with that hyperextended knee, he was banged up in that first game. A lot of people were wondering if he was even going to play at all. But he's looking back to his normal self coming in now, and he gets 2 more off days between Wednesday's game.
Yeah, he's managed to heal himself like Wolverine, which is awesome. And then all credit to the Milwaukee Bucks medical staff to get him back on his feet as quickly as he has. And then also to credit to Giannis for putting in the work over the course of the regular season, so that even when he was injured, he still had the capacity to come back quickly, recover quickly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so can't wait for Wednesday. I feel like it's probably going to be 2-2 heading back to Phoenix, and we've got a best of 3 going in. I'm glad it's a series. I would have hated to see it a sweep or, up 3-0, then, most people are tuning out. You and I talked that, it could be a lot less fan support watching these games on TV, but if it would have been 3-0, a lot of people would have just said that's done, it's over with. But we've got a series now for sure.
Yeah, we have a series. It's going to be exciting, and I just can't wait to see what Giannis does next. Like, will he have another 40-point game? Which he could. He could definitely do that. So, yeah, because right now he's feeling himself and he's looking good out there.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, cool. Well, why don't we switch to the UFC and finish off the podcast talking about mixed martial arts. Huge card, UFC 264 from the T-Mobile Arena. Huge crowd, lots of energy. Obviously, the much anticipated trilogy fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. And that first round delivered a lot of things, a lot of action. Unfortunately, we didn't see any more rounds after that. Really ugly looking leg break. We've had to endure that a few times, but I've never seen somebody break their leg off of twisting their ankle like that. It was ugly. And Conor had to undergo 3.5 hours of surgery yesterday. He said he's good. And I do have a little clip to play in a second, but tell me your thoughts about the main event.
There's a lot of animosity between these two guys. They really do not like each other. Like, they really do not like each other. To the point where I'm like, I don't know what was personally said between the two, but it's turned kind of nasty. But very enjoyable for us fans. So that's pretty cool. I gotta say that they came out and they tried to hurt one another in that first round. They came out with an intensity that I haven't seen kind of in the first two fights. That was real intensity. And Conor came out with a purpose, leg kicks, to try to take out that lead leg of Poirier's.
Big time.
But I think Poirier was clearly prepared for that because he checked a lot of those leg kicks. And I believe, as Poirier said in his post-fight interview, one of those check leg kicks, that's when Conor actually cracked that bone.
Wow.
I firmly believe that, because even when he got up and he threw that punch, if you see his leg placement on that instant replay on the slow-mo, his leg didn't even look right when he was throwing the punch. Wow. And then when he took the step back, that's when it broke. And I was like, it didn't look right then.
Crazy. So, yeah. Well, I didn't really think Poirier checked a ton of the kicks, but the one kick that I saw that seemed to be the one that they pointed to was it hitting his knee. And kind of hard to see, but it sort of looks like Conor's ankle, folded a little bit on the front. And so, maybe that's the case. Conor was really angry and adamant that he didn't check any of those kicks. He wasn't believing Poirier when he said that. His post-fight comments were called classless. They were called disgusting. They were heavily criticized. I thought it was just Conor being Conor and, trying to hype up another fight. What were your thoughts when you saw and heard what he said and the backlash against him?
I think it came from a sense of he got cheated out of the fight that he wanted. And he was extremely frustrated because his body gave out on him. Yeah. That's what I kind of thought all of that animosity was kind of really coming from, was that he was just extremely frustrated that this fight ended that way. And also, too, because the fact that now Poirier actually has all the leverage here for the fourth fight. He can easily just say, forget that. I don't want to fight him anymore. I won already. He has all the leverage. He does not have to make this fight happen. And so the way I look at it is, if I'm Poirier, I tell Dana White, this is the number I need for this fight to happen. Or else, guess what, Dana? The fight ain't happening. And that's it. He doesn't actually need to negotiate this fourth fight. If they want the fourth fight, all he has to say, you pay me this much or it's not going to happen. Because I'm done with this guy.
Well, I think he's next in line for Charles Oliveira's belt, and we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, there's a lucrative fight between him and Conor McGregor probably. But yeah, he does have that leverage, and yeah, doesn't have to ever do it again. And personally, if the money's not an issue for him, I might just not really want to be around that guy for a while, and not have to endure the slander and the things that he's talking about. It seemed to bother Poirier the way Conor was saying and the things that he said.
Oh yeah, no, like he was disgusted by it, like especially with the fact that I don't know about you, but for me, if you're fighting another man, then that's the fight between you and another man. You don't bring family into it. No. You don't bring spouses into it. It's just a no-go. That's a no-go. You just don't go there. And he went there. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but that's classless. It's disgusting behavior. You just don't go there. Why would you need to go there? Yeah. You lower yourself when you do those kind of things. Yeah, well,
I'm not sure if Conor listens to anybody or he just has his own plan. But when he was talking out to Khabib, trying to hype up their fight, anytime they would get together, he would seem to just pick everything that he could. He would like go, okay, I'm going to pick on his religion, then I'm going to pick on his dad, then I'm going to pick on his culture, then I'm going to pick on his whoever, and he'd just go bang 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 bang. And I think he realized that if he disparaged his wife and said things about his wife, it would make Dustin angry to the point where maybe he couldn't focus and have the best performance from him. So it's no excuse, but yeah, it's Conor's modus operandi. He seems to just find all the things that are really going to push a guy's buttons and really going to hype up the fight, make lots of animosity, lots of anger, and it's created him. They made a list earlier in the night that said he was the highest paid athlete last year, $180 million he made. So he has used his gift of the gab and the things that he says to make him a hell of a lot of money.
Yes, he has, and he's made a lot of money. But does he have the real respect of his peers?
No. Probably not.
I would say no, man. I honestly don't. I don't think his actual peers that are in the fight game really respect that dude at all. Yeah, you made money, man, but you're still a clown. Yeah.
That was his first back-to-back loss, but he's only 1-3 in his last 4. Do you think he fully recovers from this?
Oh, I think he does. But I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel that, like I said before, I don't think Dustin will take this 4th fight because I think he doesn't want any part of this dude. I think he's really done with him. And if they do make the fight, I think Dustin will negotiate like this. You're going to pay me this much money or else that fight will never happen. And guess what? I'm not negotiating with you. It's either that dollar amount or it's never going to happen. Cool. And that's it.
Why not? Yeah, I would dictate that too. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. So let's just. I've got Conor McGregor's Twitter account. He put a post up after the surgery. Let's just listen to that now.
What's up, fight fans? The Notorious here. Just out of the surgery room. Everything went to plan. Everything went perfect. I'm feeling tremendous. We got 6 weeks on a crutch now, and then we begin to build back. I want to thank all the fans all around the world for your messages of support. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I want to thank all the fans in attendance at the T-Mobile Arena, 21,800 fans in attendance. The place was absolutely electric. It was a hell of a first round. It would have been nice to get into that second round and then, to see what's what. But it is what it is. That's the nature of the business. A clean break of the tibia, and it was not to be. Dustin, you can celebrate that illegitimate win all you want, but you've done nothing in there. That second round would have shown all. And, onwards and upwards we go, team. We dust ourselves off, we build ourselves back, and we come back better than ever. Let's go, team.
Okay, so yeah, any thoughts there? Him calling it an illegitimate win. What are your thoughts?
I think he realizes that even with his illegitimate win, it's almost like his relevancy is fading.
Yeah.
And I think he really knows that's the thing. That's what's happening to him right now. And then that's why he's like, it's not a real win. He really, like, I hurt myself and yada, yada, yada. Excuses upon excuses. That's all I'm hearing from him. Excuses upon excuses. So, and I think he knows that he's right there to where he's almost kind of out of the fight game and he's not relevant anymore.
Yeah. He's definitely fading, and he's not going to be very popular. There's he said, the UFC needs guys like me. He likes being the villain, and he talks himself into a lot of fights. There was a lot of commentary from ESPN guys after. Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, and Teddy Atlas were some of those analysts. Stephen A. Smith drives me crazy. I don't think he should be commenting on mixed martial arts. But what do you think of Kellerman and Atlas, the two boxing guys, also on the broadcast? What do you think of their takes?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't think much of them. I didn't think much of the whole broadcast crew that they brought in. It's almost like ESPN says, these guys are our aces. Those guys know nothing about mixed martial arts. All right.
No.
I'm sorry. I put them into the categories that they're good at.
Yeah.
And if you want me to respect the people, the analysts that you have, then have mixed martial arts guys talk about the fights.
Yeah.
DC, Dominic Cruz, Michael Bisping. I don't know, the guys that have done the sport and have done it for like decades. Those are the guys I respect. I don't respect the hot shots that come in on like once or twice a year just to show off with Max Kellerman with the shades on and like, come on, man. I respect you when it comes to boxing, what you got to say. I don't give a damn what you got to say when it comes to mixed martial arts, because that's not your sport. That's not your expertise. And it really comes across when you guys talk about it. It does.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I respect Atlas and Kellerman a ton when they talk about boxing, because they know their stuff for sure. But mixed martial arts is not their forte. They say a lot of things, and it's just in one ear, out the other. And I think, come on, get somebody that we're going to appreciate and respect and know that they've been through wars, they've been in there. Doesn't have to be a fighter, but somebody that's been covering the sport for a really long time, or a former fighter. I would really appreciate that much more.
Yes, exactly. Somebody that we know, like an Ariel Helwani, that has been covering the sport from its inception, from the beginning. Those are guys that I actually absolutely respect. I respect what they have to say. But for these other guys, like what Joe Rogan has said about Stephen A. Smith, he finds it hilarious because it's like, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. All right, that's great. Yeah, come on in. Why don't you tell me how it's supposed to be? That's great. It's not like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Bizarre. Very bizarre. Yeah. Okay. Almost. We'll put the main event to bed, but Poirier. Do you think Poirier's got a good shot against Charles Oliveira? How do you think that fight turns out?
I think that fight's awesome. I think that fight's going to be an absolute war, and this animosity that was between those two guys, well, that's not going to happen with these two guys. I believe they ultimately very much respect each other, and they're just it's just going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle of attrition to see whose will triumph. Like, it's going to be a battle of will, a testament of skill, strength, like everything will be on display when those two men meet in the octagon. And I literally cannot wait for that to happen. I cannot wait for that fight to happen.
Poirier says he needs some time off. He wants to hang out with his family, and he's got that right. I think they make it happen by the end of the year. But yeah, I love it. I wish we would have it very soon. I appreciate champions and guys that are going for belts that are respectful, that have that honor, treat guys well. For some reason, the most popular guys like Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor, they're just there's these bad guys and guys that don't garner a lot of respect and a lot of class, and it's too bad that, because I really wish the highest pay-per-view ever would be Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier, and then we can kind of stick these guys to the side that are really not very classy and not individuals that represent the sport well.
But here's the thing. We're talking about American fans.
Yeah.
They love that stuff. They eat it up. It's like, oh, yeah, villains. I love it. Like, it's just what they love, right? And I guess we're a different kind of fans where we're cut from GSP stock, where you respect your opponent. You're there for the ultimate in competition. You just want to see who is the best at this particular sport in my weight division. That's all I want to know. Who's the best?
Two of the biggest supporters of Conor over this whole thing have been Ronda Rousey and Colby Covington, two real types of people like that again. And they've been just, so many stories. When you look up UFC news over the last couple of days, it's been Ronda Rousey, and a bit of Colby Covington. But yeah, you're right. I guess, the American appetite for it is there, and they like these bad guys, these villains, and I guess they'll still be part of the sport.
Yeah, it always will be a part of the sport. It's like, if you can get that WWE type of character and manifest it somehow, then all of a sudden Dana White's like, ugh, would you look at that? That's awesome. I love that guy. Let's push him.
Right.
And for the guy that's extremely respectful, but really, really good, like Charles Oliveira was for a super long time, and it took him forever to finally get the belt. Well, yeah. Then it's like you just kind of get lost in the shuffle until finally you work your way up to the point where it's like, I don't know, I've been on like a 20-fight win streak. Can I fight for the belt now? Can I do that?
Yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, very good point. Yeah. So, okay, well, let's talk about a little bit more of the other combatants on the card. The co-main event, a really good battle between welterweight combatants, Gilbert Burns and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Hell of a great battle, but Burns was definitely the better fighter in this one. Thompson was favored, but he wasn't able to inflict the same kind of damage that Burns did, and Burns has a really good shot at getting up. He said he doesn't want a title shot right away, wants one more before, but what do you think of this one?
I thought Burns' game plan was pretty much perfect for Wonderboy Thompson. I thought it was perfect. He was patient. He didn't fall for his feints. And then once he shot with true conviction to try to get him on the ground. And then once he did get him on the ground, he took his time. He took his time, inchwormed up, made sure that he didn't give him too much space so that he could pop back up to his feet like as quickly as he could. Yeah. Even though he did manage to battle back to his feet, he didn't make it easy for Wonderboy. He did not make that easy for him. And I thought that's what won him the fight. That was it right there.
Yeah, no, he was he was really good on his takedowns, and he was able to stay at range, and then when he got in, he got some great clinches, and that was the most takedowns that he's ever had in a fight. 3, which is amazing for a guy that's so good on the ground. But yeah, he was able to dominate a lot. Wonderboy, it's too bad. I was really kind of thinking that this was his last kind of shot to move up the ranks. 38 years old, maybe had a title shot if he wins this. But Burns just proved that he was superior that night. Great game plan. I love that Sanford MMA team. I want to just point out some of the guys that are on that team. Henry Hooft is the head coach, main guy. incredible kickboxer, had a phenomenal kickboxing career, and he started Sanford MMA in Florida. But they've got just a murderer's row of guys. They've got Vital Belfort, Derek Brunson, Burns, obviously, Herbert Burns, Michael Chandler. They've got just tons and tons and tons of amazing guys that fight out of that gym. Michael Johnson, yeah, on and on and on. Robbie Lawler's still there. Nick Lentz, Vicente Luque, just crazy great camp. And no wonder, guys are able to, be at the top of the divisions and have great game plans going in.
Yeah, man, because as they say, the best sharpens the best. And then when you have like a camp like that, you're always being tested, being tested. And I think it helped Gilbert Burns with the fact that I believe, didn't Luque already fight Wonderboy Thompson earlier? I want to say that somebody from the camp has fought Wonderboy. And so he had that knowledge already there. And then he brought somebody in that could actually emulate Wonderboy's style. So at Henry Hooft, they came up with a great game plan. And also, too, Gilbert Burns, once he got into Octagon, had to exercise said game plan. But he had to be patient. He had to not be frustrated by Wonderboy's extreme movement and his evasiveness, because he's extremely hard to hit once you're in there with him. You don't realize how hard he is until you're in there with him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I do have a note here that they brought in a guy that had faced Wonderboy before, Raymond Daniels, and they brought him in to do the training. So, but I'll check on Luque in a sec. But yeah, no, it was impressive. I guess the next fight in that division for the belt will be Colby Covington against Kamaru Usman, and Gilbert Burns will probably be first in line to face the winner of that one. So.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because like Gilbert Burns, he's earned that because he's fought one of the toughest guys in that division to fight. And like, you need a game plan against Wonderboy, or else you're not going to win against that dude. You're just not.
Yeah, fully on. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Okay, this heavyweight battle between Tai Tuivasa and Greg Hardy didn't last very long. Hardy rocked Tui with a big shot, went in for the kill, and left himself a bit exposed, took a severe smashing left to the eye socket, put him down, and this fight was over in 1 minute and 7 seconds. Tai Tuivasa with the third straight victory, and knocked out a huge giant like Hardy. That was great to see.
Yeah, that's why I love heavyweights, man. Fights can be pretty quick. But I can understand why Hardy thought he was good. He could go in for the kill because he got rocked. You could see Tuivasa's legs stiffen up for a quick second, but he's a heavyweight. You got to be careful. You got to be careful when you wade into the fire like that, because he still has the power to turn your lights out, which is exactly what he did. And then after, he did a shoey.
I
don't know where he's getting these shoes from. I don't know if his team just has shoes ready, but I think he just took it from the crowd. So he took a man's dirty shoe and just did it. That guy's a wild man. I love him.
Yeah, he did a few shoeys on the way out. Even he asked for people to do it, for him as he walked out. And he's quite the character. A lot of fun. I wish he would get in a bit better shape, because I think he could be, definitely a contender in the division. But he's so fun. He's hilarious. He's quite the personality. And doing these shoeys, drinking beer out of a man's shoe. Oh, man, I hope I never, ever have to subject myself to that. It's disgusting, but it's hilarious to watch.
Yeah, that's Tuivasa's thing. And I think nobody else is going to make it their thing. And you can keep that's your thing.
Yeah, you're right. Wonderboy did fight Vicente Luque November 2019. So not too far out. And Wonderboy won a decision over him. So they had 15 minutes to break down, talk to Luque, see what worked for him and what didn't. So you're very right on that. But that Sanford MMA, keep your eye on the guys that are coming out of there, man. Wow, they've got a hell of a team. Okay, I do kind of want to go a little bit quick now, so we can talk a women's bantamweight fight. Great performance by Aldana. Great to see a Mexican girl doing so well, and she ended up knocking out the Kunitskaya and getting the big victory right at the end of the first round. Super impressive performance by her, and she is tough. She is one of the best girls out there.
Yeah, like Kunitskaya came out very aggressive and looked good with a very kick-heavy attack. But unfortunately, Aldana is probably one of the best boxers in that division and showed it. Really showed it. Especially when they finally went to the ground and she was able to posture up and use a ground and pound and smashed her into oblivion. And that was the end of the fight. Yeah,
amazing left hook brought her down, and then just incredible ground and pound that forced Herzog to stop it. The only blemish is Aldana missed weight by 3.5 pounds. She lost 30% of her purse there. She said, she doesn't want to get into it, but some serious problems health-wise for her forced that miss. She apologized profusely, and let's hope we don't see that again. But amazing performance by her, and she's only going to be moving up the ranks. The fight that started off the main card was Sugar Sean O'Malley and Chris Moutinho, and this was my favorite fight of the night. I could not believe the heart and the chin on Moutinho. He took every single one of Sean O'Malley's shots. The only problem, though, is no head movement at all and just moving forward and just getting lit up. Like 200 shots to the dome. Not a good way to have your UFC debut, but a lot of fans of Moutinho now, I'm sure, because of the zombie-like quality he showed and was able to grind it out. I thought it was wrong that they stopped it. Herb Dean jumped in at the end. I think he deserved that 15 minutes, but this was my favorite fight of the night.
Yeah, I believe Herb Dean stopped it with 30 seconds left in the fight. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done that, because from what I saw anyways, Herb, I know, was in the octagon, but from what I saw from the TV, it didn't look like he was like wobbly. It didn't look like he was out of his head. He was still, it looked like he was conscious and knew what he was doing, still marching forward, still marching through shots. The thing that amazed me was just the sheer amount of shots he took, with the fact that I think his team needs to teach him head movement is a good thing. Move your head, son. Move your head. Like if you just
get off that center line.
Get off
that center line. Like O'Malley, I think they were saying like 80% accuracy. Well, I'm like, I probably could have been pretty damn accurate. The guy didn't move his head ever. He just marched forward, center line. Just all you had to do was throw punches straight, and you're connecting with every single one of them. It was crazy.
Yeah, and O'Malley also too, he showboated a bit. He made it look really good, and he did look good. He looked fantastic. He kept sniping him. But after a while, O'Malley must have been like, this guy's not falling. Okay, this is kind of weird. But I give credit to Moutinho. I think he made a lot more fans because of his performance. And man, he was robbed though. He should have been allowed to finish that fight.
Yeah, I agree. They also moved the bonuses up to 75K again this card. UFC 262 in May, they had the initial $75,000 bonuses. You asked for them to move it up, and they have. I hope that's done for good now, and we keep getting the 75K. It might be just for pay-per-views. It might be just for ones where they have full arenas. I have no idea, but they have moved it up to 75K. Both those guys both got the fight performance bonuses. The other one went to Tai Tuivasa, and middleweight Dricus du Plessis, the South African, got the other 75,000. So, let's fly through the prelims a little bit. The natural born killer Carlos Condit, good performance, but Max Griffin was better on the night. got the decision win. Yeah, what'd you think of that one?
I thought that Griffin basically had Carlos Condit's number from the beginning. I thought he was better than him in the stand-up game. He had him figured out, especially with the leg kicks. He was taking away his base, taking away his legs, and he attacked his legs on both sides. Whatever front leg he had, he attacked it. And I think that eventually added up to the point that, Griffin won the fight. So I was very impressed with how he attacked Condit and his game plan for him going forward in that fight.
Yeah, you could tell Condit was feeling it. He had to switch stances many times, so orthodox to back to left-handed, and it was tough on him. I cheer for Condit. I kind of hope he does well, and I want to see him stick around. One of the legends, back to the WEC days. But Griffin was the better fighter in this one. The welterweight battle between Nico Price and Michel Pereira. You talked about that being the fight of the night in your eyes going into it. They didn't disappoint. Great battle. We saw a little bit more. We see Pereira do that flip again and get mount. We saw him against Tristan Connolly do that before and lose, but this time he ended up grinding out a decision victory. And what'd you think of this one?
Well, he kind of kept his showboating to a minimum, I guess, in this particular fight. He actually fought the man, fought well, fought on the outside, had great movement. And also, too, even though he seemed like by far and away, I still don't know how he makes 170 pounds, by the way. He looks way bigger than that.
Always bigger. Massive, isn't he? Yeah, massive.
But he seemed like the quicker fighter. He has all those fast switch muscles. But Nico Price had a good game plan. He didn't have enough time to implement it. I think if it's a 5-round fight, then Nico Price will probably win that fight because he knew that he had to wear down that guy's gas tank before he could actually take him out. But he didn't have enough time to do that.
I fully agree with so much of your commentary, especially Pereira being so big. I think he walks around 200 pounds. It's amazing that he can get down to 170. He just looks massive, but he definitely gasses. He did in a few of the fights I've seen already. And Price definitely took the third in dramatic fashion, was walking him down, was hitting him hard, was putting a lot of hurt on him. You're right. Even if it was one more round, even if it was maybe another minute, I think Price could have finished that fight and had the victory. But it was just a little too little too late, and Pereira gets the victory in it.
Yeah, a little too little too late. But I think going forward, that's what anybody's opponent for Pereira, that would be their game plan. Wear on him, wear that gas tank down, and then you can take him out. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the other performance of the night. Dricus du Plessis gets the knockout victory over Trevin Giles. Minute and 41 seconds into the second round. Du Plessis, man, he is a tough guy. Huge right hand that dropped Giles, and just a couple more shots on the ground, and it was over. Giles is no joke. He came in 3 straight wins, looking really good in his last performances. But du Plessis was super impressive.
Yeah, because du Plessis, he has traditional Muay Thai fighting style. Hands up, hands guarding the face, chin tucked. Now, Giles doesn't do that. Hands down. If you're going to fight like that, you need to actually be like a Roy Jones Jr. You need to have superhuman reactions. Right. You need to have that if you're going to fight like that. And if you slip just once, that's all it will take. And you will be knocked out. And that's exactly what happened. I think he threw the punch after, and then du Plessis came off the cage with the right. I think Giles was appreciating his handiwork for a split second too long. Wow. Right. And then he got popped, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to watch Giles fight because you're like, okay, it's good to have your hands down for a little bit, but you got to keep your guard up because just one of those babies has got to get through there, and you're done. It must drive his corner crazy to see those hands so far down and not protecting his head at all.
Yeah, yeah. Like I understand if that's going to be your style going forward, but you also too you have to know that these are the chances you take, and you have to be so extremely focused at all times if you want to fight like that, because
Yeah.
you can't have any distractions in that fight at all,
No.
or else that's going to happen to you, and you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure are. Yeah. Any other fights you want to talk about? A few on the early prelims, but anything that jumps out at you?
The only one that jumps out at me was, I just want to say, the Zumagulov fight against Riviera was the standing guillotine choke.
Yeah.
Super impressive, especially with
Yeah.
the wicked angle that he took, because it turned into a modified neck crank up against his chest, along
Amazing, yeah.
with the standing guillotine choke. It was nasty, it was vicious, and it was awesome to see. Great win by Zumagulov.
I heard John Anik say that that was his first submission win ever. So that was kind of shocking. Like to have that crazy of a choke modified like that, front doing it, all the things that he had to do to make that happen. To be his first submission victor ever, pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, that was incredible. Like, especially with the way that he locked it up. It was nasty, man. When I looked at that, I was like, oh my God. Oh God, I would tap right away.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was pretty wild. That was a fight to kick off the night. It was pretty wild. Okay. So great card as always. 264 was phenomenal. So many good fights, and I enjoyed myself a ton. I know you were sick and didn't get a chance to see it to yesterday, but I'm glad you were able to check it out and break it down, man. A lot of fun. I really I thought it was good top to bottom.
No, it was great card, great fight. Unfortunately, the last fight was a little bit anticlimactic because of the McGregor injury, but at the end of the day, all in all, it was a very, very, very good card.
Yeah. Okay, so next Saturday coming up, we've got Makhachev against Thiago Moises as the main event there. What do you think we're going to see in that one?
Oh yes. Well, Makhachev. Oh man, he's just such a nasty fighter. He's so nasty. I expect an all-out war on all levels. Levels for this fight. I expect both fighters to be very, very much prepared, but I think he comes out the winner on this somehow, some way, in whatever way it does. However it ends up, he's going to win somehow.
Yeah. DC always talks super highly of him. He comes out of the same camp, and Khabib said once he was gone that they don't have any champions anymore there, but they say that he's one of the next guys to be the champion, and look out for him. I think he takes this and keeps moving up the ranks. 19-1 record and looking phenomenal. We see the return of Miesha Tate. She retired, and we just didn't think she was ever going to come back, but she decided to get back in there, and she fights a real tough opponent in Marion Renaud.
Ooh, she didn't make it easy for herself, that's for sure. That is not a gimme fight whatsoever. I'm curious to see how she'll look in the first couple of minutes, whether she'll be extremely rusty or if she'll look pretty good. Like she might have a ton of ring rust. And if she does have that ton of ring rust, then I believe Renaud runs away with this victory. She runs away with it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Lots of good fighters on the card. Jeremy Stevens is there. Gabriel Benitez. We've got Daniel Rodriguez fighting on as the feature prelim. A lot of other guys that are sort of no names, but it's going to be a great card as always. So looking forward to that, and it'll be fun to break it down with you. There's just a couple other things I wanted to mention. Khabib has said that UFC has continued to call him and ask him if he'll come back, please. He said he just turned down a GSP fight. disappointingly. Yeah, he just came out and said that the other day.
What? Oh man, I thought that would be the fight that he would actually come back for.
Yeah.
But hey, he's a man of his word. He said that his mom wanted him to stop, so he stopped.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect the heck out of that. So if that's it for him, then that's it for him. So
Yeah.
he made peace with it, clearly.
Dominic Cruz said that he's asked Sugar Sean O'Malley for a fight going on over a year, and he said that the Sugar's been ducking him.
Wait, Sugar Sean O'Malley, the guy that talks nonstop, is ducking somebody? Wow, that's amazing. I would have thought that guy would take on all comers, and he wouldn't be afraid of anybody. But apparently, I guess he's afraid of Mr. Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
very interesting. Yeah, but I can see them making that fight soon. Yeah, when guys take to Twitter and saying they're ducking, usually they want to prove them wrong and get fighting. So yeah, a lot of funny things are coming out. There's this girl. She is a personality. She kind of got famous YouTube, social media. Her name is Addison Rae, and she went on her social media channel and said that she got a job as one of the girls that do post-fight interviews with the fighters. And she said, I did 3 months of broadcasting school to get this job. Yay, I'm in the UFC. And there was so much backlash over her that supposedly the UFC fired her. And they barely even used her on Saturday night. I didn't personally see any of her interviews, but she took when she took to Twitter and said 3 months broadcasting, all that work, hard work to get this job. The backlash was too big for the UFC to keep her, and they fired her. Barely even used her. It was pretty hilarious.
She's not very smart. You don't put out, like, you're talking about people that's their career, and they put in years of schooling to get to that point. And not just years of schooling, then they had to disappear somewhere into the Midwest in a small town, get their chops, and then come back to the big markets and then become who they were. And then you are managed to get this gift, and it's a gift of getting into a big spot after your 3 months of broadcasting, and then you want to show off on Twitter. You're a fool.
Yeah, not too smart. Not too smart. Yeah. Yeah, it was it's kind of crazy to be hired and fired the same weekend, and barely even seen it all. So we'll see. We'll see where she pops up next. The final thing is for me is Dana White posted a picture of Jessica I's third eye that she had closed on Saturday night. 13 stitches across her forehead to close that nasty gash she had. It looks ugly, but that was brutal. But I was amazed that the corner people, somehow they had that stopped bleeding for most of that third round. And she almost got out without having the blood on her face. But that opened up really bad from that headbutt. It was pretty brutal.
Pretty brutal, but the cut man, whoever was working on Jessica I in that corner, did an exemplary job, because I was shocked that it wasn't just gushing as soon as she came out for that third final.
I know. I kept looking at it thinking, man, how the hell did they stop it from gushing? It took, I would say, over 4 minutes before it started bleeding again. And impressive performance by the cut man there. So you said you had something to mention before we go. You had something to talk about. We haven't rehearsed it. We haven't talked about it. Tell me what you have for our viewers and listeners.
Okay, so basically, I wanted to make, because it's been bothering me, so I wanted to make an amendment, correction to comments I made about the Canada Day holiday. All right, I wanted to add something to that, because I educated myself a little bit more about why there was a call for the cancellation of the holiday, because I really didn't know. All right. And also too, I said something incredibly insensitive during that part where I said it's part of the cancel culture. Absolutely, it's not. No, it's
Okay.
not. It
Okay.
is not a part of that whatsoever. It cuts much deeper to the heart of the matter of, like, about all of us wanting to be a Canadian, but unfortunately there's a certain group of us that doesn't feel it as much because there's a dark history associated with that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, after the discoveries of the hundreds of bodies of the Indigenous children in unmarked graves at former residential schools, the outrage of the First Nations people can and would not be held back. And I understand that, and it shouldn't be held back. It's the dismantling and genocide of a culture has been a pervasive fact for the First Nations people for a very long time. The damage done to these proud people can be seen today still. I don't know what the answer is to right these wrongs, but I do know that one day of reconciliation reflection doesn't cut it. There has to be more. Increased awareness is a start, and more programs that will help uplift and heal these deep wounds inflicted upon these people is needed. We need to help restore the dignity and honor of the First Nations people, the first Canadians here in this country. That's what I wanted to say, because as we go along here and as they still continue to do their investigations, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right on this. Hundreds will turn to thousands. Thousands may be even more than that. And that's the dark part of our history that needs to be known to everybody here, because as proud Canadians, we don't leave anybody behind. No race, no culture is left behind. We need to bring everybody up with us so that one day we can all be proud of where we live and what we see as the flag, the Canadian maple leaf.
Cool. Nice.
That's it. That's what I wanted.
Did anything precipitate you wanting to say that? Did you? I know when I brought it up, we hadn't discussed it before, and you were kind of surprised to hear that there was, calls to cancel Canada Day. I never mean to do that to you. Maybe we should have had a discussion before, but I didn't do it that day. Is anything any discussions you had more that you looked into it, or why did it come out today?
It came out today because, yes, there was a discussion I had. There was a discussion I had with a certain individual where she likened what was happening with the Canadians, with the First Nations people, with my race, Blacks. And if I am to look at it in that perspective, in that lens, how could I not see it through their eyes? How could I not see the pain and the struggle that they've been going through this entire time? How could I not be one with them? Those are fellow brothers and sisters. Yes, they're First Nations, but we've kind of gone through we've walked the same path of humiliation, the indignities done to us, and then also to the trials and the tribulations and all of that. Once I saw that for myself, I knew that I needed to say more, because at the end of the day, I never want to be a hypocrite about this stuff. Never. That's not me. That's not who I am.
Yeah. No. Well said. I appreciate your feedback. I don't. I don't see. I didn't see it as a cancel culture type of move, but I thought you were right on by saying that in a lot of ways, because we are seeing somebody, when they say something controversial, all of a sudden just being dismissed and get rid of them, cancel them. And so that's something that's, top of mind. But unfortunately, we have this dark history and dark past. I definitely don't want to forget about it, but I don't want to say that moving forward, we shouldn't celebrate this great nation. I think it is one of the most diverse nations on the planet. And we're well liked by almost everybody in the world, and it's nice to be, I think, in that way. And I think we have set a really good example for the world that you can, you know, include everybody and for the most part get along and have a good culture.
Yes, yes. And I think we'll continue to keep setting that standard by being accepting of other people's pain. And I think as we continue to keep doing that, then as a nation, we grow stronger.
Cool.
That's what I firmly believe.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you said that. And yeah, thanks for getting that off your chest. And yeah, I'm sure the discussion will continue. We're going to be having more Independence Day, more Canada Days coming, and you're right. You know, I think they're going to find thousands of more bodies outside of every residential school in this whole entire country. And yeah, I don't think the worst is behind us for sure.
No, but I like I said before, awareness is the first step, and then so once we're all aware, we all know that there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. But
Yeah.
all of us are responsible for that work, every single one of us.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, well, this was fun. We had a hell of a lot to cover, tons of sports. This was one of my favorite weekends. I just had a blast. Great to see the UFC, great to party for the Euro Cup. Great to have so much going on. And yeah, we frozen picture here for a second, but yeah, fantastic weekend. Thanks so much for breaking it down with me as always. And I'm glad you got off a little early so you could get a workout in and then do this. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. And let's talk through the week. Let's definitely talk on Wednesday when Game 4 happens.
Definitely we will be doing that, my friend. And yeah, man, I look forward to the rest of the games for the finals, and I look forward to seeing what's going to happen. How long is this finals going to go? Is it going to go to Game 7, or is it just going to go to Game 6? I don't know, but I'm super excited to find out. Yeah,
me too. Yeah, Milwaukee has to win a game on the road. They can't win just their games at home and win the series. But yeah, after that game, I kind of feel like it's going 7 now.
Yeah, me too. I do.
Yeah.
I really feel like that. I feel that Giannis is beginning to really hit his stride, so to speak. So
yeah,
let's go. Let's see what happens. I'm excited.
Sounds good, buddy. Okay, man. Appreciate it as always. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers. Bye for now. Okay. Wow. Fantastic podcast. Lots of subjects covered there. And yeah, it's great to hear Jason. Yeah, I wanted to clarify some comments that he made that he wasn't, that didn't sit right with him, as he said. I don't want to add too much more. He said what he's going to say, and that was great. But yeah, I do want to mention our partners and sponsors. Let's pull up our website real quick, and we'll get an opportunity to show them to you. As always, Anchor has been a great partner and sponsor for Complete Sports Media. Phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms. They call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. Just go to anchor.fm and follow the details. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And you know what? The V350 stick is a can't miss for your shopping list. Pampas and Possibilities, they design and sell dried florals, do floral arrangements and installations. They're designers of handmade, curated, pretty things with West Coast vibes at reasonable prices. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company, they grow and manufacture aloe vera-based products for health and beauty. So yeah, thank you so much to our partners and sponsors as always. I want to say this podcast is dedicated to my niece and nephew, Lee and Evelyn Sheehan. And yeah, I do this for my loved ones, and they are near the top, if not the top of the list. And yeah, great podcast as always. Jason, thanks so much. You got some great insight, lots of humor, and yeah, nice to be able to break down a weekend of sports. I always look forward to this. And yeah, thanks again to all our viewers and listeners. Keep up your support and go to our websites, completemedianetwork.com, and you could find all of the sister sites off the big parent site there. So love you guys lots. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. We'll talk soon.